Hi, Bill Cunningham here, the Great American, right here in Norwood. You know, voting is underway for the mayoral seat right now in Norwood, and I tell you what, I love Norwood. It's the gem of the Highlands. When I was a boy, I used to come here and play baseball. I love shopping the businesses. I went to Xavier University. I have great feeling for the people of Norwood. Beginning back 30, 40 years ago, when I put together a basketball game, when the GM plant closed, the workers at GM called me to put together a basketball game at Cincinnati Gardens. All of us who live in Hamilton County love the city of Norwood because Norwood is the heart that beats the entire region. So goes Norwood, so goes Hamilton County, the state of Ohio, and the United States of America. It's important to you, and it's important to me who runs this city because things are not so good. Norwood ought to be a shining city on a hill with plenty of money in reserves. It's centrally located. The businesses are doing fairly well, but let's face it, city government is failing because of leadership. Today is a time of choosing for you. There are 3 candidates running for mayor in the city of Norwood. Unless you decide to make a change, things are going to be exactly the way they've been the last 15 to 20 years. Make a change. It's not about politics. Being a Republican, a Democrat, independent is not nearly as important as being competent. And the city of Norwood now needs competent leadership. Joining me now is a fellow Great American, Will DeLuca. Will DeLuca, welcome to your show.
Bill, thank you. Thank you very much.
I understand you were born in Norwood on a basement on the floor right here in Norwood. Is that correct?
That's right. That's right. My mom gave birth to me in the basement of Sorrento's.
And you never left?
No, I've been here all my life.
Why? What is it about Norwood that attracts you and so many other great Americans?
It's where home is. It's just where my friends are, my family. This is where I can drive up and down Montgomery Road or to my house, to my business, and I know people, and they know me. It's just that good, warm feeling that I get.
What is wrong with the current political leadership of one of the great regions in the tri-state? What's wrong? Why is a guy like you? Betty's Pizza, I love. I love the oven. I love the garlic sticks. I get pepperoni pizza, make it half prosciutto ham, half sausage. My wife gets all the other stuff. And I sit there and I love talking to people. But what is wrong with government in the city of Norwood?
Bill, the problem is that the focus has been first on political parties. What's best for their political party, not what's best for Norwood.
When you think about it, you know, nationally, we're going to have a big election next year. All these issues that we really can't touch. Great Americans have said that best government is local government. Tip O'Neill said it. Ronald Reagan said it. Nancy Pelosi says it. Donald Trump says it. Local government is most important to the people. In Norwood right now, whenever I put on the state auditor, the state attorney general, there's investigations underway. Things are going wrong. Fiscal emergencies are declared. The people pay enough in taxes. The money's being mismanaged. Kind of give the American people here in Norwood what happened with the water crisis, which has now been resolved because of the EPA. What was the mismanagement that caused that to happen in the first place?
Well, Bill, the problem has been with the water towers that for the last 40 years they've not been maintained. We've been paying an additional fee in our water bill every 3 months that's supposed to go towards the improvement and maintenance of our water system, and they've not been doing that.
Why?
Because there's only 2 votes there. The votes are with the police and fire unions. That's where the the more employees that work for the city, that live in the city, that have family in the city, and that's how they keep getting reelected. It's about winning elections and staying in power.
So special interests decide who wins and who loses.
That's correct.
Now you're running not as a Republican or a Democrat, but as a competent business owner. How's that different than political parties? Because right now I'm told that you see the R, you vote R, you see the D, you vote D. How do you overcome the natural proclivity of many of us to say, well, the R means this, the D means that? Why does that not apply in Norwood?
Because, Bill, what it means to me is this. We're not building a wall here. We're not doing a great new Green Deal. We're not doing gun control. We're talking about a $24 million budget. How do you get the best bang for your buck? Fairly. That's it.
So these other issues are interesting, and I care about abortion, I care about immigration, I care about fiscal emergencies in Washington, I care about what I see on television, which is an attack on the president or attack upon Democrats. And that's got nothing to do with running Norwood.
Absolutely not.
How do you overcome that? Because when I see a D, I naturally don't want to vote for a D. And if you're a Democrat, you see an R, I'm not voting for an R. You're running as an independent. How do you overcome the natural desire of many of us to stay within our tribes and not take a risk on someone who's an independent?
Well, you know, you got to get out and meet with the people, talk to the people. I do a live Facebook feed every Sunday night from 8 to 9 o'clock. I've been doing it now for over 34 weeks. every Sunday night, and people can hear what Will DeLuca thinks and what I'd like to do, and really what our problems are in Norwood, and they're not national issues. And so when we talk about improving our streets, and when we talk about improving our parks, and giving our residents a place to go and build community, how does that translate to a national level? I don't know. But the time has come that we need to start putting our best interests first, and that's electing somebody who's going to cut through all the crap and just do what's right.
You run a real business. You've
Yes.
been in a real business for a long time. You sign the front of a paycheck and the back of a paycheck. Businesses many times don't want to locate in Norwood because of taxes, in the sense that it's not being managed correctly. The top issues, I would think, are the water, the physical emergency, the streets, the roads, the bridges, public service employees. Kind of break down for those who live in Norwood the top 2 or 3 issues that, because you're a business owner, you understand how real life works.
Well, the biggest issue I feel in Norwood right now is that no one trusts anyone. The residents don't trust the government, the departments don't trust the administration, and everything's just broken down. So the first thing we have to do is rebuild trust. And secondly, after you start rebuilding trust, you look at the issues that we have, and there's a lot of issues. And what I want to do, it's never been done. It's sad when you have department heads that tell me, hey, I've never had a departmental meeting, and I've been here for 8 years. So one of the first things I want to do is every Monday morning bring in all the department heads that fall under the mayor, sit down, and start talking about what our issues are. Let's list them all out. Let's put them on a big board. Let's look at them. Let's see what these things are. And let's bring them all up. Not just the big ones, all of them. And let's start one by one prioritizing what the big issues are and how we're going to get past them.
About how many employees are there in Norwood right now?
About 200.
200. And you're saying the great majority of those employees have never sat down with a department head saying, this is what's right, this is what's wrong. So the leaders don't speak to those whom they lead.
That's correct.
That's bad. I mean, your business experience tells me you have to listen, number one, your customers. You're in business because of the customers. Number two, your employees are critical to the success of that business. But the employees of Norwood have got to be able to relate what's happening on the ground, what's going on wrong. It doesn't get up to the higher levels.
Bill, even at my restaurant, the little small pizzeria that it is, with the employees the amount of employees that I have, there's not a night that doesn't begin with an employee meeting. Who's doing what, who's where. We have to know what's going on. That way, if there is a problem, we know how it's going to get taken care of, or we try to eliminate the problem before they even happen. But when you look at a city the size of Norwood, with all the issues that we're having, whether it's fiscal emergency, fiscal watch, the roads, the infrastructure, you would think that they would be meeting on a more regular basis.
We got a crisis.
Yes.
I've been on David Yost, who was the auditor. Now he's the Attorney General. And this is one of the few cities in Ohio that is so poorly managed that the state government comes in and threatens to take it over unless certain things are happening. Isn't that embarrassing to be in Norwood?
It's extremely embarrassing. And when you're talking about trying to attract new business to Norwood, it's extremely difficult. What people don't understand is that these developers, before they actually set foot in a city, they spend thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars in research and whether or not the project makes sense. But when you have a climate where things are just horrible, whether it's political or just the infrastructure, they stand clear of it. They go to places where it's much easier to do business.
There's about 50 different jurisdictions just in Hamilton County. But if you look at a map, Norwood is unbelievably situated. When I want to come to Norwood to go to Bettis or to go to Joseph Volkswagen or to go to Xavier, where I proudly graduated, I can get here in 7-8 minutes if there's no traffic. 71 is right here, 75 is right there, the city of Cincinnati is right there, and I go on Norwood Lateral, and suddenly I'm in the middle of everything. This city is better situated geographically than any part of Hamilton County. It should be flourishing if it had the right leadership.
That's the problem, Bill. As far as location, if you pull out a map of Hamilton County and you put your finger dead smack in the middle, you will find yourself in Norwood. But what you won't find in Norwood right now is an economic boom. Virtually every community that touches Norwood is going through a renaissance. Everyone but Norwood.
Why? I look at Oakley. 20 years ago, you could walk in Oakley, Madison Road, and throw a bowling ball and not hit a pin. Right now, it's burgeoning. Look at Pleasant Ridge. Some say in Hamilton County government, City of Cincinnati wants to take over Norwood. Maybe let's get rid of the police, the fire, the water, get rid of the government. How would the people of Norwood feel that the political leadership has been so bad for so long that it needs to be taken over?
No, I'm not quite there yet. I'm not giving up on Norwood. That's why I'm running for office. I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I'm not going to sit on the sideline and just gripe and gripe and gripe. So rather than just gripe, I'm putting my best foot forward, and I want to show folks that this isn't rocket science. It's about hiring competent people in the right positions and making good business decisions.
And managing the budget in such a way, listening to the employees and the citizens to maximize the dollars being spent. There's plenty of money in city government if it was properly maintained. What if you ran Bettas the way the city of Norwood's been run the past 10 years?
Bill, I've been out of business 6 months after I opened.
Why doesn't the current political leadership understand that? Is it too much comfort?
They've got a good thing there, and they don't want to change it. But that good thing is affecting Norwood as a whole. There's no reason, and the sad part is most of these people don't even live in Norwood anymore. They live in communities that have nice landscaped streets, nice parkways, nice parks. We deserve that also. We deserve to have nice things. We're not asking for too much. When we can't even get our water right, there's a problem.
It happens in
Houston, there's a problem.
That's a problem. If you can't turn on the faucet and say, I can drink the water, and your kids might get sick, there's a fear. You have to have trust that the right people are in charge. And if Norwood residents are happy with the status quo, if they think the water's great, the services are unbelievable, the city streets are landscaped, all the streets have been filled, businesses are growing, jobs are being created, then stay where you are. Don't change. But if you want to change, why are you the instrument of change more than a Republican or Democrat?
Because my two opponents, they've been there, done that. One opponent's been there 22 years, our chief financial officer of the city of Norwood, has led us through not one bankruptcy, but 2 bankruptcies, 12 years of a fiscal watch, and now he wants to run the city. The other person, he just quite simply, nice guy, but he just doesn't get it right.
Well intended, but the wrong solution.
That's exactly right.
So you're not running because you're a Republican, Democrat, Independent. You're running because you were born here, you were raised here.
I'm invested here.
You live here. I asked everyone who walked into the studio, why are you running? Because you don't need this. So many don't need this hassle. And you only have a few days left. People are voting right now. Tell the gem of the Highlands why it needs to be polished.
It needs to be polished because this is our home. This is where we live. This is where we're raising our family. This is where we want to be. We deserve to have nice things, good things. We deserve to have a community that we're all proud of. And with me, that's what I'm going to work hard to do, is to give all of Norwood, not this party or that party, all of Norwood, a community we're all proud of.
And lastly, I would say this. I live in Sycamore Township, and I've lived all around Norwood. And Norwood has a reputation around this community of being kind of a joke. And I want the joke to end for those good people in Norwood. And if you don't want any change, maintain the status quo. More people will move out. The kids that graduate from this great high school won't have a place to go to work. And the streets will continue to go downhill, and maybe the water will make you sick, and the city will be in another bankruptcy. But if you want to take a risk with a guy that knows how to run a business and cares about this community more than anyone else, Will DeLuca is your guy. Be a great American. During this election, think about whether you're happy or not. If you're dissatisfied, vote for change, vote for DeLuca. Bill Cunningham, the Great American, with you every day on 700 WLW.